Town Board for Thursday, May 15th at 5 o'clock. Number 2, roll call starting from my left.
Stevenson here.
Giardino here.
Hasdall here.
Samuel Sladair.
Number 3, certified posting of the meeting, please.
I certify that on Tuesday, May 12th, 2025, the amended agenda for the Town of Rome Board meeting for Thursday, May 15th, 2025 was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 9:15 a.m., Quick Trip LLC 9:31 a.m., Nakusa Port Edward State Bank 9:36 a.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3:00.
I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Rome Board meeting for Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Call to order. And then number 2, roll call starting from my left. Saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Number 6, citizen comments. We have one. Okay, during the citizen comment period of the agenda, the town board welcomes comments from any town resident, not a member of the town board, on any item not on the agenda. Please know that pursuant to state law, the board cannot engage in conversations with you, but may ask questions. The board may refer the item to staff, a standing committee, or a future board agenda for discussion and action. Each person wishing to speak will have up to 3 minutes to speak. Speakers are asked to submit a card to the clerk providing their name, address, and topic for discussion. The board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during citizen comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. Mr. Murray, yes, please. And the board name and address, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, start the shot clock. Is this, I don't know if this is on.
If it's green, it's on.
Test.
That's on.
Okay, I'm going to just read this email I sent to you all to try to stay within the 3 minutes. My wife and I have developed Eagles Nest Guest House the past 10 years, supporting Rome Tourism, Glen Murray, 492 Duffers Trail. My wife and I have developed Eagles Nest Guest House the past 10 years, supporting Rome Tourism and becoming the second largest room taxpayer in the town as a small business. I've spent 5 years on the board of Visit Rome when I was employed at Sand Valley, and now as an at-large member for the last 14 months. In developing the Eagles Nest, we have 8.59 acres of commercially zoned B1 land that we have developed with low density. We have ended up with 1 acre landlocked, accessible only by Duffers Trail. We have purchased the neighboring lots on Duffers and attended 4 meetings with the Lake Arrowhead Review Committee and HOA Board to gain approval from Lake Arrowhead to construct a driveway to access the landlocked 1 acre. We have and own the road frontage needed by county or town standards to meet the access requirements. However, the landlocked acre does not have the conforming lot frontage on Duffers Trail. We would like to construct an approximate 4,000 square foot house with a garage on this acre if we can obtain access from Duffers and recognize the acre parcel. Lake Arrowhead has made the attached statement of support, and just the general sense is that they would like to see a low density use of this commercial acre that borders their community as opposed to various other uses that could be proposed. In working with the Town of Rome and approaching the Plan Commission, there's no current path to achieve this request desired by my wife, Mackenzie, and I to expand our small business. If the same situation happened in Adams County, the lot would be approved based on the 66 foot of access easement on the frontage despite the lot dimensions not conforming to the frontage. This was confirmed via a call with Dustin Grant. We're glad Rome has its own zoning and a higher standard of zoning and not asking you to change the zoning. However, Rome, unlike many Wisconsin municipalities, does not have a modification or special exceptions process. I've included in the packet just an example of the modification or special exemptions packet at the county, and they exist in towns and municipalities across the state. In our case, Lake Arrowhead Board voted 5-0 to support our plan. We believe it's in the best interest of the greater community to see a low-density development on this commercial parcel. And there's other proposals we could bring to the Plan Commission to do with this land, but after all these meetings with Lake Arrowhead and our desire, it would be something low-density, a residence that is used for overnight accommodation. Thank you for reading, and I appreciate your service to the town.
Thank you.
Do you and the board have any questions?
No.
We can't go into discussion, but, so have you applied for a variance here or appeal process or anything of that nature?
I wasn't allowed to, through staff, to apply for a variance or go through the appeals process.
Who do you mean through staff? Was
had-
it the zoning person?
Through zoning, yes, through Lexi. I've got an email trail with Lexi and some with Attorney Flanagan, just that there wasn't a path to go for a variance or for appeals, or there was no path, and I think what we're asking for is a reasonable request. The neighboring association wants it to happen. They're supportive of the low density, and there's just no path currently to do this. And if the town had a modifications or special exceptions process, that would be a path. If you all tell me to go to Board of Appeals, I'm happy to go to Board of Appeals. Just looking for a path to make my case.
I think we can refer this to staff and we'll look into it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
You said you have documentation on the rejection you got before.
Yeah, I can share that.
Would you share that with the board, please?
Yes, be happy to. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7, information updates, meeting recaps, recent correspondence, current events and announcements. Cheryl?
I can tell you that Town of Rome has once again become Bird City so we were successfully Bird City again. Congratulations, Town of Rome.
Oh, it's my turn.
Your turn.
Okay, I want to announce that the Friends of the Library on the 21st of May at 9:30 are going to host a session to discuss tackling wildlife damage in your garden. It's a 2-hour session, and it's free, and it's at the library. My wife's out there, she should hear this, though. Every time we buy our plants, it's ringing the buffet for the deers. And the library also now has purchased a bookmobile, which I have to give kudos to our librarian for that, because she dreamed up this plan, worked it through, and with the help of the Friends of the Library, they were able to purchase this bookmobile. It will be for people that are unable to get out, people who are maybe temporarily unable to get out, and they're going to also use it at the market day, or no, farm market, whatever it's called. Anyway, in the Planning Commission, we have 2 new businesses coming into town, and it's one is going to be a simulated golf facility. It's going to be right across the street on Route 13, right across here at the Town Hall, and there'll be a storage facility on the 200 block of 14th Avenue.
Okay, one second. Mark,
We've got a tornado warning just south of here until 5:30.
till 5:30?
So we're not in the projected path, it's supposed to stay south of us, but
Okay.
it'll be as close as Colburn.
Okay.
You want to go sit outside and watch for it? Okay, I'm sorry.
And that's what I have.
I did forget one thing, I'm sorry. The Visit Rome has highway cleanup this Sunday, May 18th. So be sure to stop over and help us out. It starts at 11 a.m., I believe.
Mark?
Trilix will be posted on notice very shortly. June 2nd is a startup date. The commissioning of the 2 container nano bubbles out on 8th Avenue. We've got all the permits from the DNR, and we're scheduled to christen the 2 units at 11 o'clock on June 2nd.
And two things. One, the farmer's market opens tomorrow, so hopefully weather permitting. And the other thing too is, as you all know, Tom Gabriel has decided to step down from the board, and just want to thank him for his time. Guy's been a big contribution for the town. He's done a lot of work for the board as well as the committees he's been on, so he's not here, but he'll be missed. Okay, number 8, department and committee reports. Anybody stepping up? Cody, you want to start? I think you're first up.
All right, just some of the things that we had. This is not transfer site right now, or is just the monthly report
Overview.
overview?
Fine.
All right, so.
Highlights.
Highlights. So we got Derek Hughes open. We did open the new portion of the track. We got a couple new staff members out at the track out there. They're very helpful. They're also doing mowing part-time for the town as well. So they're a little bit of dabbling, a little bit of both. We did receive our mulcher for doing our trails, and we used an old piece of equipment that we've had to run on some of the trails. Actually, Brian back here is the foreman out there, and he's done a phenomenal job out there, just completely crushing it, getting that track back in shape. And we actually cut our time in half. So using some equipment that we've had that was deemed we weren't able to use out there, and it actually works phenomenal. Other than that, let's see, water. We've got some new services went in, and some houses are being built, so they're connecting to the water system. We just got done with flushing here at the beginning of the month, and we're doing ongoing training with staff between water and public works to broaden their horizons on stuff they've never touched before. So nothing super huge right now. And then we do have some road projects that are being done right now, and some of them are being completed right now. And Timberline did just get the base is in right now, so we're waiting for American to go through and put the binder down, and then our top layer for Timberline. So, and Archer should be started by the end of next week.
Okay. On the, getting a little ahead here, but on the transfer site fees at $20, $30, whatever, are we caught up on all those payments to the residents?
We
Taxpayers?
have sent out all the checks. We've had quite a few come back. So we're investigating those. We had a few who did not receive enough, and so we're getting ready to process those payments next week.
What was the total amount collected, do you know, offhand?
Collected?
Yeah, original. When you get a chance.
Yeah, I can get that for you.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Cody. Anybody else? Mark? Yeah. Anything?
As I submitted it, that was the highlight sheet that I had submitted.
Okay. Can you answer some of the finance questions? I have a few. I'll hold that one for later. Royal Bank, who is Royal Bank? We have a $142,000 pay.
That's a loan that was taken out 4 years ago, I
right.
believe. I'd have to look for sure, but that's a loan payment.
All right. Check with that one later. Town of Saratoga,
That is,
$45,000.
That's our retainer part for the fire protection that we provide into a,
Is that annual, do you know?
yes.
Thank you. Avalara Inc.,
that is room tax.
okay. And no questions there per se. That's it for this. Any other Department reports, anybody? Questions?
No.
Okay. Discuss and possible action on the following items. 9, discussion and possible action, approval of the May 1st, 2025 and May 6th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Move to approve both the May 1st and May 6th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 10, discussion and possible action, approval of town chairman, recommendation to appoint Tim Reppin to fill the town board supervisor vacancy for the remainder of the term of office expiring April 19th, 2026.
I'll move to approve the appointment of Tim Reppin to fill the empty town supervisor position.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? A roll call vote, starting from my left, please.
Evenson, yes.
Giardino, yes.
Hasdall, yes.
Samuelstead, yes.
Newsome, yes.
The ayes have it, motion carried. You want to do the checks or move 12?
No, we're gonna
Checks
swear
first?
him in and he can come and
Okay,
join the.
we're going to move 12 up.
Club.
Why don't you come on up here, Tim?
Let me get out of the way.
You're fine. You can raise your right hand. I, Tim Reppin,
I, Tim Reppin.
having been appointed to the office of Town of Rome Supervisor,
I'm sorry. So
having been appointed
have been appointed
to the office of Town of Rome Supervisor,
to the office of Town Rome Supervisor.
swear that I will support the Constitution
Swear I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and faithfully discharge the duties of the
Said office.
said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
All right, can you borrow your pen?
Yeah. Here we go.
You want to just sign right there for me? Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Tim. All right.
I hid the nameplate.
Finances.
All right. Number 11, discussion and possible action, checks, vouchers, receipts, and journal entries. Approved checks number 47477 through 49462, totaling $416,188.21. Auto payments totaling $88,699.48. State, Social Security, Medicare withholdings totaling $38,196.77. Payroll vouchers V11258 through V11378 totaling $102,664.27. And checks number 21690 through 21692 totaling $2,116.58. Receipts numbers 26398 through 26469 totaling $658,357.57.
I just want to let you know that normally you will get a detailed report for payments. However, this month, because of the checks that went out for the transfer site stickers, your reports would have been probably about 300 pages. So I
Thank you.
thought it would be just a little easier to
It was
just
big
print
enough
less
as-
detail and if you
Yeah.
if you had questions, you could ask.
Yeah, it was big enough as it was, but that's fine. Get 'em.
I'll move to approve the checks, vouchers, receipts, and journal entries as presented.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 12, discussion and possible action, approval to retain Municipal Law and Litigation Group, SC, as Town's Council with the solar farm situation.
These, they are very familiar with the solar
Yes,
farm?
yeah.
Okay.
I was on the phone with them the other day, and just as an FYI, you may or may not seen it, this is what they intend to destroy in the town of Rome, in my opinion. So, and it's very close to Lake Camelot. It surrounds the shooting range. It's right up by the town hall, up here. Not my opinion of a family operation. So,
Then you go out east on D, on the north side of the road.
Yeah.
There's no buffer zone.
Nothing.
I mean, you can look the
yeah.
entire area over.
You go up 13, it's gonna be almost all the way up to to the county line. So,
Now, let me see if I get this right here. On this further end, that's Alpine and D? On the east end?
on the east end,
Yeah,
uh,
way on the east end. That's D, right? Or Alpine? Because
that's that's Akron up there. Well, what are you looking at?
I'm looking right here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Alpine.
No.
it's not Alpine, that's D, and that's out
D.
by,
Okay, so it's, okay, this is east of 13.
yes.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well, I mean, maybe you should put this out there for people to see this.
Yes, we will. It's, yeah, I was on a call this week already with those folks with the ACEC, and again, they just promises and nothing. We made no comments, but listen to what they had to say, but it's the same old, same old.
I think on this issue, we need to retain an attorney. I'll move to approve the retainment of Municipal Law and Litigation Group SC as the town's counsel.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, discussion and possible action, electronic neighborhood watch program. You want to
Well,
explain that one?
Okay, I kind of came prepared for this. I mean, many of people have asked me, what is it? In essence, an electronic neighborhood watch program is an electronic database of businesses and residents who have some sort of monitoring device on their home or business. Having this data provides law enforcement with a valuable resource for crime prevention and investigation. It allows them to potentially utilize footage to identify suspects and reconstruct a crime scene and gather evidence. It can aid in real-time monitoring and rapid emergency response. More and more communities within the state are utilizing this, embracing this. So, we would like to be ahead of the curve here. Participation would strictly be voluntary. So the key here, the properties could be added to a map, a database map that we would have, that all they have to do is put in your address, say, oh yes, something happened on this street, and these 3 homes have a monitoring device, and they will seek out permission. Can we look and see? We're looking for something here. And we just basically, it would be an advantageous thing for the police department in that we don't have a huge police department that can go knocking on doors. And another thing that I didn't mention here was we have a lot of absentee owners. And having that we have absentee owners, they have security monitoring systems. So it's a neighborhood watch, but your cameras are watching for us. All we have to do is ask and say, hey, can we see it? And that's basically, in a nutshell, what it's all about. They're not looking into your cameras every night and day. They're not doing that at all. They just have a database of who has the cameras. And if need be, they will ask you to look at it.
And there's no cost involved in this, is there?
No, the only thing maybe cost would be sending out to the individual home and businesses a form. First of all, asking, would you like to do this? Your name, address, and put it on a database.
Where's this data going to be stored?
I would think it'd be in the police department to have like a database, this way, that's my suggestion, because they would be the only one that should have access to it.
Do they have the IT ability to do something like this type of project?
I currently know that they were working with Wisconsin Rapids or Wood County in the last couple of years that have the same type of program. But I don't know where this database, where they store it or how they manipulate it. And unfortunately, he's not here to ask. But they did, I remember them putting that out there a couple of years ago, that they joined forces with Wisconsin Rapids or Wood County or whatever it was to be a part of that program.
I think it's a good program, but we're going to have to come up with some guidelines before we
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Mark, because you don't want something getting out there, people saying, hey, I don't want people being Big Brother watching me.
Yes.
I mean, that's a fear for people. and I want to emphasize, they're not going to just tap into your system. All they want to know is, do you have a system? And can we look at it? Something happened on your street.
Well, if Wisconsin Rapids already has this program show, all it is take a phone call up there and see if they get their guidelines, what they're using for that system up there. And
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah, I'm not, I know that Jason had mentioned that he's already had talked with them or was part of it before, so I just don't know how they run it.
Okay. Do you want to put this till until when Jason gets here for the next meeting and carry it on?
Sure, we can do that. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
And then we can ask that question. Can we get some information from Wisconsin Rapids because Jason is the IT guy, so he would be able to maybe put this together.
See what he needs, yeah.
Yep.
So, okay,
I so you want
we'll
to
table this,
put it next month's agenda?
table it next month. Okay, number 14, discussion and possible action, approval of the request from Tim Myers from Edward Jones Investments for waiver of bandshell fees for a concert at the bandshell on June 20th, 2025, from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. to benefit the Adams County Humane Society.
how much were the fees?
$100.
That's the Chris Crozy
That was-
concert.
I'll make that motion to waive the fee for the band show for this Tim Myers, the Edward Jones Investment for the Humane Society, if I said that right.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 15, discussion and possible action, approval of the request for sponsorship of the Rome Fire Department Fund Golf Fundraiser at Lake Arrowhead on June 12th, 2025.
What was our sponsorship last year, Wendy?
Don't know.
Do we sponsor a hole, don't we?
I don't think the town sponsored a whole last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we didn't, huh?
I think we were asked to.
How much was a
At
hole?
least the fire commission did, but the town.
I think it's the hole's $85, Mark?
$75.
75 for a hole.
So you could have got $10 more from us.
I'll get that straight from you.
We got the money in that can fund, right?
I'll make a motion to approve the request for sponsorship of the Rome Fire Department Fund Golf Raiser
For $75.
for, yes, $75.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 16, discussion and possible action, approval of appointment to various town Rome committees. Should I do this en masse or individual?
I would do the board appointments first.
Okay.
And the reason we redid those is because of having to add Mr. Ruppin to the, I would do them in sections.
All right, so for board appointments, we have Visit Rome, Cheryl Evenson, Community Development Authority, me, Carl Hasdell, Community Development Authority, Mark Sammelstead, Leicester Public Library of Rome, Vito Gardino, Parks and Recreation Committee, Cheryl Evenson, Parks and Recreation Committee, Tim Reppin, Plan Commission, Tim Reppin, you're gonna be busy, bud. Plan Commission, Vito Gardino, Utilities Committee, Carl Hasdell, EMS, Mark Kane, and EMS alternate, Will Beckstrom. To get a motion, please?
I'll motion that all the nominations that were just stated.
You want to repeat them?
I don't know.
I'll
Good
second.
call. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Reappointments, Tom Beal, Board of Appeals expiring June 1st, 2028. Cindy Lewis, Board of Appeals expiring June 1st, 2028. Jill Reese, Parks and Recreation Committee expiring June 1st, 2029. Paul Janzik, Plan Commission expiring May 1st, 2028. Deb Schumacher, Utilities Committee expiring May 1st, 2028 as a curbside user. Get a motion, please?
I'll move to approve the reappointments as stated.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. New appointments, Thomas Bell, Community Development Authority expiring May 1st, 2026. Mark Lake, Community Development Authority expiring May 1st, 2028. Sue Gardino, Lister Public Library of Rome Board, expiring January 1st, 2027. Sue Boltman, Parks and Recreation Committee, expiring May 1st, 2028. Mike Donegan, Parks and Recreation Committee, expiring May 1st, 2027. David Janzik, Plan Commission, expiring May 1st, 2028. And Colleen Pruss, did I get that right? Okay. Utilities Commission, expiring May 1st, 2027, as a curbside user.
I'll make a motion to approve the new appointments as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Welcome aboard, and I gotta tell you, folks, we got a really nice group of folks coming in across the board, including Tim up here helping us. So, expect good things in the future. Number 17, discussion of possible action, approval of town board appointment to the TIF Board of Review, Joint Review Board, sorry. Who do we have on that? Crap, me? You didn't hear that, did you? It'd be myself, Carl Hasdell. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve Carl Hosdahl as the town board appointment to the TIF Joint Review Board.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 18, discussion of possible action, approval of auto aid agreements for the Rome Fire Department.
Good evening. In your packet this evening, there are auto aid agreements with three of our neighboring departments, Big Flats, Nakusa, and Grand Rapids. We've had mutual aid agreements with these departments dating back to 1978, but never a formal auto aid agreement. The purpose of these agreements is to ensure that the assistance necessary to mitigate a fire is sent out automatically instead of by request. This decreases response times and lessens the radio traffic through the dispatch center during an already hectic period. Statistics show that 30 years ago you had 15 minutes to escape a house fire. Today's escape time is 3 to 5 minutes due to synthetic materials, lightweight construction, and open floor plans. These reduced escape times reinforce the need for additional help to be sent automatically to help lessen the chance of loss of life and reduce the amount of property damage. Thank you for your support with these agreements.
I think this is a no-brainer. I'll move to approve the auto aid agreements for the Rome Fire Department.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Mark.
I'm sorry, another one? You didn't get a ring on
It's a thunderstorm.
Is it?
Yeah, I just got it on mine.
That's what I just got to.
It's almost done.
Yep. A new alert just came up.
That was the second page of it.
It was moving north, northeast.
it. Okay. Number 19, discussion of possible action, research transfer site issues, hours of operation and staffing. Where do you want to start?
Well, we can start with staffing. So currently we're doing 3 people per shift out there at the transfer site, and it was scaled back to 2 staff members. Upon looking into it, we need to go back to 3 for sure. And we do have it in the budget to do 3 people, part-time employment, to staff the transfer site adequately.
Do you have somebody to fill that?
Working on that.
Okay.
Working on that. The other things that we could be looking into is there's a substantial cost to operate the transfer site. It is not a money-making opportunity. Our open tops fill up extremely fast. A lot of that comes down to customers coming in and either they're remodeling their home, possibly having contractors remodel their home and dumping construction waste and a lot of larger items into the bins, which fills them up extremely fast. A rough number last year for waste hauled out of here was $183,000. That's solid waste.
That's just a cost.
That's just the cost. Now, you figure about 7 to 10% of that is roughly compactor waste because you can haul much, much heavier loads out. So there still will be a cost, obviously, but I would like to do some research and maybe have a little brainstorm session about other opportunities to maybe lessen the blow a little bit. We do have customers that come in and they are extremely upset that the containers are full. They're upset that they have to, put things where they're instructed to go. We've had issues where people are not following directions on where things are supposed to be, and they've just been tossed and get into altercations with employees. There's been several instances where the employees out there are badgered and harassed, and they do a good job out there. They really, you got to have some thick skin to be out there because they do take some abuse. So we're just kind of going through some different ideas to see if we can make things better, make it more efficient out there. I look to you guys for some guidance on this.
It's open floor. Thoughts?
Well, I think he's got budget to get that third person on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
vote for that.
Kind of the way I look at it, though, is your department, you run as you see fit. So as far as people, do what you got to do. As far as policy changes, that's got to start up here, and I think we have to have a discussion then on the hauling and the open tops and see if there's options or solutions on that one, but that's my opinion.
Cody, you don't have the staff right now to accurately control the contractors that are coming in to make sure that they're from the town of Rome?
Correct. So we have, the only contractors that we have one solid waste contractor that has a permit here. And the rest of the contractors that we have, there's about 25 of them or so, that have permits here to enter the transfer site and dump brush. Brush is not our biggest enemy in this. It is people utilizing the open tops. Waste that goes to the transfer site is supposed to be generated in the town of Rome. And I can tell you right now, there is not a used mattress or toilet or kitchen in this town that is not new right now with the amount of debris coming into the transfer site. There's not enough houses. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of, and I know everyone's remodeling, I totally get it, but there's definitely some infiltration coming in, and we as taxpayers are footing the bill for it.
I think we need to have a discussion with Cody on how to control the open top containers and who's using them.
Come up with some ideas on
Yes.
that, too. As far as the third person, in my opinion, put them on. Fourth one, if you got it, you can afford it, put them on.
Sounds good.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think we need
agree.
to vote on it.
Yeah,
It's
I
your
agree.
department.
That's your department.
The other thing is hours of operation. I've gone by, in the summertime, you go by and there's people lined up there at 9 o'clock. I just wonder if we should expand the hours, like Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 5 instead of 9 to 5.
Yeah,
In the
that's
wintertime, go
doable.
back to 9, you're 9 to 5 and, or 9 to 4, I'm sorry, in the winter. And then I wouldn't change Monday either, but leave Monday at probably 9 to 12 or whatever it's running right
Sure,
now.
sure.
It's my thought.
Do we have the money in the budget to cover those expanded costs?
The extra hours, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Just my thoughts. The other thing is, can we get a nice Rome sign out there instead of transfer site that's hanging out there?
Do we have budget for that?
All right.
I get a sign from it.
Anything else? I think we'll have to look into the open tops and see what option. I mean,
Say garbage dump?
Huh?
What do you want it to say, garbage dump?
no,
Okay.
just a nice sign. The the nice Rome sign we got out there.
I know.
Okay, I figured.
So we'll just-
Also, can you tell the folks what you're looking at with pulling in the weeds from the lakes and what you're doing with it and the leaves?
Oh, yes. So we have a large leaf population at the transfer site. There are several very, very large piles. So that gets turned, and it gets turned into compost. It gets flipped and tossed around and stuff. So when the weed harvesters bring in, they dump the seaweed or the weeds from the lake into the transfer site. We actually mix them in amongst the compost pile, and they are broken down. And it's one of the reasons why we have such very sought after compost at the transfer site. You can throw it on concrete, it'll grow grass. So, but
Awesome.
And then the shaker?
so we have the opportunity to bring in a shaker and clean up, go through and filter some of our compost and topsoil, because there are going to be some sticks and stuff still left in there. And we're able to possibly bring in a shaker table and go through and screen the dirt so it's a little bit more user-friendly, cleaner stuff. There is possibly an opportunity to even market it. It is possible.
So at this point, there's no charge for the compost?
There is not.
Okay.
You are able to bring a truck, a trailer, and a shovel, or a bucket, or whatever you want. We do not allow equipment out there to be operated to fill a truck, though.
And we don't deliver.
And we do not deliver. That has been a frequent request over the last couple of weeks. We do not deliver.
So. Okay, anybody have any questions, thoughts? Everything, any questions for us? Mark?
We're gonna sit down in the future and talk with Cody about
Open tops.
the
We'll have
open
to-
tops.
Yeah, we'll have to bring the folks in too, to get some opinions from the town.
He
but,
is.
Yeah. Something to work on.
Sounds good.
Good.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. Number 20, discussion of possible action, review Department of Revenue recommendations on open records requests. I've been in contact with Tom Kamerick, who is basically an open records request attorney, and we've been in discussion with fees going back and forth, and fees, you can't make money on an open records request. You have to take into consideration your paper cost and your ink cost, and that's about it, unless you have to do records research. Electronic copies, emails, there is no cost, according to them. You send it out via email through a file. There's no paper, so there's no cost. Hard copies, I'm looking at some of the costs that they're looking at, a penny per page, and 6 cents per page for color. And these are old records, right? This is from 2018. So, I mean, it's, again, we can't make money on it, but we got to come up with a reasonable charge. I think we're at 25 cents right now, which is not reasonable, per the attorney. Thoughts on this? I mean, we can figure out the cost. There is calculations out there for our machines, tell you exactly what the cost should be based on paper count and ink. It's pretty close. I think it comes close to 3 cents a page or something like that. Is that about right?
I was gonna say 8, but it's down there.
Yeah. Thoughts, folks?
I think the cost of copies right now is out of line, way out of line. It went from 50 cents down to 25 cents. 25 cents is way out of line. I think, with what Wendy said, I'd say more like 5 cents a copy.
5 cents? Double-sided, at a penny?
Have to do a fee resolution to change it at this point.
Okay.
Next
Would
time.
would this include all the officers of township?
Yes.
Because, if somebody would like an accident report or a report from the police department,
Accident reports aren't the same. That's not the same. We're talking open records only at this point.
because all it requires is to make a copy. That's why I thought it was all the same, no?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, what we have in the record, my guess is that over time, the copies from, just from years ago, they were 50 cents. It was just a copy. And now they're using it for open records, and they're not one and the same. So you can charge more for copies and things, so.
Okay.
We'll be more in line with what the Department of Justice recommends.
Okay, so we have to do a resolution on that one? So,
Next time.
set that one up.
Okay.
Be next time, okay. Bring that to the next meeting. Number 21, discussion of possible action, determine personnel for negotiations of police officer contracts. We have two officers, ex-officers here, opinions?
With you, during my 39 years in law enforcement, I was a member of the police union and as also police chief. And what we did, we always, union contract involved two council members and the town administrator to do negotiating. And I think that's the way it should be here.
Okay, our new chairman of the Police and Fire Commission also suggested two members from the Police and Fire Commission. Your thoughts on that?
I would think, no, have it, two here and her from the
Okay.
chairman, three. This way, it's an odd number in case, two vote one way. Otherwise, if you're split, then that, becomes problematic.
Once we get a town administrator, he or she should be put on that
Yeah.
negotiating.
So recommendations?
I like what Mark's thinking, have the two members on the board, and we can pick the one from the police commission.
Okay.
And,
The administrator wants,
well, once the administrator gets here.
Okay.
But in the meantime, it's not gonna wait because the contract opens up, I wanna say, at the end of the year.
I think it's this summer, isn't
it
it?
is, starts in July.
Well, that's when the negotiation starts.
Yeah.
And they've,
I think their fiscal year starts with January 1st.
and if I remember right, the police union requested a possible early start of negotiations.
Right.
I would also recommend that the chairman of the Police and Fire Commission be on this committee at this time until we get a town administrator.
All right, that sounds logical.
Two members from this board? I can think of two.
I can think of two.
Okay, I tell you what. I make a motion, Mark be on that committee.
I'll second that.
You and Mark, right?
Okay, well, I want to be humble. All right.
I'll make a motion that
Well,
Vito
before we do that,
and Mark
okay.
Are you going to
are on
add
the
Right.
Lori in that as well?
I'm sorry?
Is he going to add Lori Heidemann in there?
Yes.
Yes, and Lori, yeah. Yeah. And I'll second it. How's that?
All right.
All right.
Took you off the hook. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Can I
Aye.
move back before?
Sure,
you
go ahead.
So the motion as I have it is to appoint Vito Gardino, Mark Samelstead, and Lori Heidemann as the town liaison for negotiations of police officer contracts.
Do we have to recuse ourselves from the vote on that?
No, it's not a personal.
Okay.
So,
Yep, that
Now
is a
you can
correct motion, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second it. Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 22, discussion of possible action, I'm not sure we need this, but installing a light at the stop warning sign on Alpine at County Road Z and one or two more sign installations. A resident down there has had 4 vehicles in his yard due to the corner there at a 55 zone, so we're looking to put I think there's a stop warning sign before on the right-hand side, but thinking about putting lights on there, a solar light.
What about that, it's Alpine, right? Alpine and Z over there.
Yeah.
They have an arrow pointing both ways. On the east side of Z, right at Alpine. In other words, telling traffic,
Yeah,
you
to
gotta
go left
turn.
or right, mm-hmm.
Can we,
West side.
what's that?
At the west side.
Oh, you're right. Can we put like flashing yellow lights on that?
That would be,
Is
Is
that
that,
Adams County? That's a
That's
county.
a county road.
Oh, no, is that a county road?
Yeah.
Z is,
County
but,
Z is, that's
Oh,
why
'cause
you'd
it-
have
yeah,
to,
it's-
Alpine's ours.
It's on Z facing Alpine.
right, but that's still a county sign.
yeah, that's a county
Oh,
one.
okay.
So
so
you'd have to put
we have
it
to do
on-
it on our
On
side.
Alpine.
Okay. Then, yeah, let's do it on our side.
Put a solar light on the sign on the right for the warning?
The warning one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's in the intersection, it's in county.
It's before the intersection, it's before the corner.
Yeah.
Well, how about at the stop sign? Can you do it, or is the stop sign, oh,
County.
that's county too, huh?
Gotta do it on the pre-warn, the
So can we do
stop ahead sign.
Okay.
we can put a request into the county, see if they'll light up that one? How about one on the left-hand side approaching that? Would there be a county sign too? Well, I guess we can start off at least. Can you get in hold of the county and see what they'll do then? So, but we can go ahead and put a light on the other one, and. Okay, we don't need a motion, you just do it, right? It's not a huge expense, all right, thanks. Discussion of possible action, fire-wise, state, county, and local properties, how to address and reduce fire hazards. A couple years ago, we did a major push, we had 1,100 notices go out for fire, and mostly for fire and timber ordinance. I'm not gonna say violations, we just got people that want to comply. We need to keep going on that, and I don't know, how do we approach the county, the state, the DNR, the school district? There's timber all over the place here. There's issues. How do we we just send them notices like we do anybody else?
Keep in mind that fire-wise, the actual,
I know you're loud, but.
The actual FireWise program through the DNR is mainly concerned about the initial ignition zone, which extends approximately 50 feet from any residence. So what I keep hearing over and over the years of this term branded FireWise is neighborhood cleanup. And so it's not within the state DNR FireWise guidelines what we're looking to have done. Does it significantly reduce fire load? Yes. But it is not in that actual FireWise program, because they're looking at being able to stop a fire before it gets to the actual residence. And that's what the whole FireWise program is based off of, is making a defensible zone so that we, even if the woods burned around it, we could stop it before it gets to the house. So how do we get, well, our problem renews itself on an annual basis because of oak wilt. And then we get a storm like tonight, and we get a few trees blow down, and then it just renews itself. It's an ongoing process. I don't know where the answer actually lies, but for us to brand it as FireWise, it's not following into that program.
We do have severe, in my opinion, I mean,
I agree, and it's made remarkable improvements in the last 5 years. And we can see those numbers in the improvements in the severity of the wildfires that we have fought in the last 5 years. They decrease in severity because we're able to catch a break somewhere and get in front of it and be able to contain it quickly, versus it runs away from us and then we're chasing it for 2 miles down the road.
Mark, got a question for you. Go on Apache east of Highway 13 on the south side.
Absolutely.
All that
everything that
logged
flooded. Keep in mind that was all flooded
Right.
3 years ago.
But there's a large area that was logged off.
Yep.
And all that, you get a fire going out there.
And in any place that's been logged off, you're going to get it. I don't know. I believe that's actually private land.
I don't know.
I believe it is private land at that point. But if you get into the managed forest lands, those loggers are actually required to leave a percentage of the slash that's coming off of there. So it's the tops off the red pines and stuff. A percentage that has to stay on site because it replaces the nutrients into the soil, so that the soil doesn't become barren.
Right.
And it's able to continue growing things in the future.
You look at that area I just mentioned.
Oh, absolutely.
You see logs out there.
Absolutely. You take that stretch just east of Fire Station 2 back to 15th Avenue from Apache to Akron. That's a mile by a half a mile of pine slash. The part of it has been piled for disposal by the property owner. But the rest of it is out there. If that thing lit, it'll burn itself. It'll burn that down. It'll burn our fire station down.
I didn't think we'd have any answers, but I just thought this is topic for conversation. We got to come up with something.
There is the public awareness is one of the big pieces.
Yeah.
And I would be happy to help raise that public awareness, but I'm not comfortable branding it as Firewise.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that? We got,
Like the Camelot Association has their Firewise cleanup, they call it that,
Yeah.
a couple times a year. It's
Got it.
kind of nice. They try to get groups of people together to go through and clean up those spaces.
Absolutely. It's,
The other
it's a catchword.
Yeah,
The,
yeah. Do the other associations do that too?
the Sherwood does, and then Lake Arrowhead has a maintenance crew, so Lake Camelot's Firewise days are actually on Lake Camelot property.
Yes.
And so, again, it's not in the Firewise thing because it's not 50 feet within that residence. But that's where they're going out to do their green space.
The green spaces?
Unfortunately, they have, I don't remember what the there's a large amount of acreage that Lake Camelot Property Owners Association owns as green space. There you go. Thank you, Colleen. So if they do 5 acres, now you know how long it'll take. It makes more than 5 acres worth of mess every year. So there's no way to gain on it at that point. It's just a recycling process. We've been asked to burn it before. The problem is we can't burn that large mass. If for a controlled burn, we're looking at taking out light fuels, the grasses, the small brush. You start burning 10-inch logs, we'd be out there for 10 days trying to get it put out. And that's we don't have the manpower or the resources to do that either.
I know Lake Camelot has got 4 days planned for this year for Firewise, so, yeah.
And they've also hired a contractor to come in and help. He helped last year, did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be in there helping them. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because they clear a lot more a lot faster than what they just guys out there with chainsaws.
DNR, they still have grants available, somewhat?
We can bring in their wildlife urban interface specialist and get a lot of those answers from Amy Penn. She's the one that works with us with Firewise too, with the town.
Okay. Yeah, I think we dealt with it when we were doing the ordinance change a couple years ago, yeah. So,
But
okay.
she's very knowledgeable, and that'd be a great resource.
Okay.
And she'd be happy that I volunteered her.
Thank you. Lori?
As far as Lake Arrowhead goes, we've been members for a very, very, very long time. We have a lot of lots with a lot of down. I know that big push you did when you were chair before was on the east side of the lake. Lake Arrowhead gets their grant, and when they get their grant for brush cleanup, they use it, and you are pretty much on your own, your lot owner, to do your own stuff and get it down to the road. They'll pick it up. So we're not part of the town brush and fire pickup. They just run it at the exact same time. And at the request of our board member, Bob Benkowski, I went to one of their meetings and asked if they could maybe consider doing that a little differently, because our outlots don't get the type of care that the other 2 lakes associations are able to do. And a lot of our members are getting older, and it's getting harder to get some of those big trees out of there. We used to have a whole front of our lots covered with brush, down trees, everything. We can't do it anymore either. And there's a lot of, I think there needs to be some additional discussion with Lake Arrowhead Association that maybe they use their grant from the DNR the same way the other 2 lake associations do. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else? Future discussion. We've got work to do on this one, I think. So, it's that important. That storm's getting close?
We should be on the tail side of it here pretty quick.
Okay. Number 24.
Not saying that the tail's not gonna be a little nasty.
24, discussion of possible action, review boardroom and community room sound system and cost to upgrade and IT services. We'll have to do some research on this. I'm thinking we bring in a professional, look at everything, the whole system, because we're getting complaints all the time. The monitor there is nice, it's great, but some people can't see it, so we gotta figure out what'll work a little more, better, I guess, across the board, and get the upgrade in the community center room as well, so I have no idea what kind of funding we have available or what's out there.
I think we need to look at a professional IT person for the town too.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that.
Talking with several employees, we need a professional IT person.
So,
I didn't know we didn't have one.
No, we don't, Tim.
Okay.
so we'll come back with some numbers on that and see if we can come up with some answers and what the cost is going to be. So we'll do a little research on that. So table that one. Dates and items for future agenda meetings. Next agenda items. You got a pretty good list going there.
I do. We will have Visit Rome's temporary Class B beer and wine licenses for their summer concert. Approval of, hopefully, all liquor licenses. I've been told there will be some plan commission items. The electronic neighborhood program, a resolution for change of fees.
Okay, can you
The items I have.
add on their comprehensive plan, work on that, and then ask the folks from the Rome Town Center Committee to come in and explain their duties?
I have a couple.
Sure.
We'd like to have an update on the military banners for the next meeting. And an update on the EpiPens, because the last I heard, I believe they said they were on back order. And two other things I'd like to kind of bring up. I'd like to kind of discuss the canine.
Okay.
Okay? And also, one final thing, I think a lot of people could agree with me on this. I think we need to discuss about this, some additional cell phone towers, because when we get crowded here on the weekends, there's dead spots. You can't even pick up any on your cell phones. I think that's got to be something we have to deal with, because a lot of people here, they don't even have landlines, they have cell phones, and if you have to make an emergency phone call and you can't get through because we got so many people here, we got a problem.
The problem comes in with the property to put those towers on
Right, but
And the town's ordinances.
I'm sure.
in ordinances. I mean, they want right by a road so that they have access anytime. I mean, prime property right by a road is probably not gonna be going to a tower, but, I mean, we've been approached, I'm just saying as my father-in-law owns quite a bit of property and stuff, but, they're specific about where they want it, is what I'm saying, is, so, it's tough.
I know, but something has to be done. As we're growing, we're getting growing pains. And subsequently, it's kind of hard, we all have cell phones, and come here on a holiday weekend.
You have to maybe ask Solaris to up their amount that they
yeah.
put out to us or
Well,
something,
Okay,
too.
let's, we'll put it on the next agenda.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be fine.
anything else? Okay.
That's enough.
Number, hey, we did all right tonight. 26, next meeting date and time?
June 5th, 2025, 5 PM.
You get a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Cameras are still on.